Yes, Jhansi. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I like to invite the speaker, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Agrawal, who will talk about Bajra Napier hybrid production and opportunities. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, madam. Now I'm going to present my talk on Bajra Napier hybrid. This is a hybrid, interspecific hybrid of Penstemon glaucum and Penstemon purpureum. So why this hybrid? First thing is importance. The Bajra Napier hybrid is highly valued for its abundant harvest yield, palatability, and harvest quality. Actually, it provides nutritious harvest around the year, but sometimes the oxalate content of some varieties may be higher. It is up to 3%. Normally, content is around 1.5 to 2%. Now, this oxalate content can be mitigated if it is harvested a longer interval, because it is negatively correlated with the age. As the age increases, the oxalate content in the bean hybrid fodder reduces. This grass is ideal for the green fodder, silage, as well as for the hay, and it grows well at high temperatures with humidity and can withstand drought conditions for fairly long spell. Although during that spell it may not grow that fast, but it will sustain. So now this is lot of demand in the market of Napier. Usually what they call is in Napier. This is Bajra Napier hybrid. It is a demand for fodder, demand for silage, demand for biofuel. Mostly people, they are approaching us for the biofuel now, and Reliance has also sponsored some project, and they have collaborated us with fairly very high amount to develop the material, especially the seed producing bee and hybrid and other things for the biofuel. And it is used for the purified compressed gas as well as for the sale of the root slips and stem cuttings. So now question comes, why Bajra Napier hybrid? Why not the alone Bajra, or why not the this Napier? Some mistakes are there. Actually, both are C4 plant, and Bajra is normally grown for the high leaf stem ratio, high protein, more than 19 to 13.5%, high sugar content, broad, long green leaves, excellent nutritive value, succulent and juicy palatable. And Napier is the commonly grown for the, it's not commonly, it is found growing in the coastal areas in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and other coastal areas of the Odisha. It is predominantly, it is very tall, fast growth, rapid regrowth after cutting. Actually, we require the rapid regrowth and high biomass yield, vigorous root system, and robust clump. Perennial, very high tilting and aggressive plant. But what Bajra was lacking, no perenniality, very less tilting. And what this Napier was lacking was the low quality and high oxalate content and non-edible, very high fiber. So the scientists, we have also made, and our AICRP system developed around 26 varieties by crossing the Bajra with the Napier. Here we are using the Bajra as the mother, so we are putting Bajra as the first. Now, Bajra Napier hybrid is high yield multi-cut fodder grass, intra-specific of the Napier and Napier grass and Bajra. High nutritional value, suitable for feeding livestock, cows, goats, and buffalo, promoting health and productivity, resilient, fast growing, and provide continuous supply of the green fodder throughout the year. So now it is in high demand. So I'm moving on the part of the productivity, how to enter the production of the Bajra. So first thing comes the climate. Which climate is suitable for the Bajra Napier hybrid? Now, this Bajra Napier hybrid has wider climatic adaptability. This can grow even from, excuse me. Sorry for the inconvenience. So this is resilient, fast-growing, providing continuous supply of the green fodder. Now, I was coming for the climate. Uh, Starting from the Nagaland and Manipur to the part of the Himachal Pradesh, from uh, and in north from Jammu, in south in the Kerala. Especially it grows profusely well in the coastal and where warm and humid climate is there, like in the coastal region and in our Deccan Plateau. This tropical grass grows well at high temperature, warm and humid conditions, grows in areas with rainfall of over 1000 mm. In future, just in the following slides, you will see the water requirement and the tonnage production of the Bajra Napier hybrid is very high. That's why it requires a good quantity of the irrigation water. The optimum temperature is 31 degrees centigrade and it can withstand drought conditions for fairly long span. Now comes the what are the soil suitable? Actually, the best suitable soils for the Bajra Napier hybrid is the very fertile Indo-Gangetic plain soils or the soils which are rich in the organic matter. It is exhaustive crop yielding up to 4,000 quintal green fodder or 1,000 quintal dry matter per hectare. So for this well-drained clay loam soils are preferred. Almost all types of soil and fertility of the soils it can be grown in almost all type of soils and can bear soil acidity as well as alkalinity to the limited extent from pH 5.5 to 8. So now comes the land preparation. How to prepare the land? As I told, this is a perennial crop. Once put in the field, when it is planted in the field, it will continue to grow up to 3 to 5 years, depending on your maintenance. How well you maintain the crop, the longer is the duration and the productivity cycle of the crop. Hence, periodical tillage activities like other crops, they are not so easily feasible in this crop. And generally, before planting the Bajra Napier hybrid in the field, generally 2 to 3 plantings should be done and planting is to be done. And if possible, soil turning plow to be done so that the existing weed seed load is eradicated, because once the crop enters in the field, the weed in initial stage, it creates a lot of the it creates competition for the crop, and initially stage the crop growth is low, so weed issues are common in the Bajra Napier hybrid. And many people, they are now I have visited many fields and many large scale plantations. Now it has become a issue for the growers to control the weed. So planting. Now this is very important because usually this is propagated by stem cutting or single bud, double bud stem cutting or the rooted slips. Now IFRA, they have developed the planting methodology and the preparation of the buds, single bud, half bud, by applying some of our technologies and formulations, so that this bud longevity has increased and its vigor has been increased and germination percent also increased. Normally 25,000 to 40,000 rooted slips or stem cutting, they are needed, depending on your planting density. Now, ideally, planting can be done at any time in the year except during winter period, but February planting where irrigation is there is suitable, so that whatever some gaps are there or some mortality is there, you can go for the planting in the month of September, October. Under rainfed conditions where irrigation is not there, then June, July planting, July, August is preferred for the planting. Now for planting, stem cutting, they are placed in soil at an angle of 45 degree, keeping bud on the upper side, so that one node is pushed in the soil and one remains above the surface. That's node which is inside the soil. It promotes the root growth as well as on the above the soil for the stem growth. Now, these can be prepared by uprooting a clump and dividing it, separating it into the rooted slips as I have presented here. No, this is the showing this. We are first we cut it, then we remove the clump. This is the rooted slip we are removing, and this is the planting methodology. Now, in this case, the transportation of planting materials is a challenge because for earlier for 1 lakh of the stem cutting root reserve, we needed a larger truck. Now we have developed, come up with the technology that can be transported in a mini truck. But IGFRA has developed the seeds of Bajra Napier hybrid. In the first time in the world, the seed producing Bajra Napier hybrid has been developed at IGFRA. This is our uh, it just indicates the growth. Secondly, this for that variety has been developed, and because the basic issue is this, that earlier we have the triploid kind of Bajra Napier hybrid. It means Bajra was diploid and Napier was triploid, tetraploid. So the crossing was made it triploid. There were seeds were produced, inflorescences were there, but these were not. These were sterile, not fertile. Now, IGFRA for those cases, IGFRA produced these synthetic seeds so that to reduce the transportation cost, and for some other varieties, IGFRA has developed. They have developed the seeds of the BN hybrid. You can see earlier this was the once you have to take the material you have to carry in trucks. Now we have developed, and only 3 kg of the seed is sufficient for 1 hectare. Earlier for 1 hectare you require a mini truck. Okay. So these are the synthetic seeds. Somatic embryos were encapsulated in sodium alginate and calcium chloride beads. Now they were easy. They germinated in the agar some mixture, then planted, transported to the field, transplanted in the field. So the both technology IGFR has developed this seed as well as this synthetic seeds for the non-seed producing BN hybrids. Now comes as I told the spacing. Spacing is very important, and many times people they discuss how to calculate the spacing, how to calculate the planting geometry. Now, usually when you are going for the intercropping, going for the BN hybrid for the fodder, then you should plant it by 100 into 50 centimeter, according some 20,000 plants. But you can grow the berseem during the winter or lucerne during the winter season, and cowpea or guar during the summer or monsoon season. And when you are going solely, people they also go for the 75 by 50, 75 by 40. Is usually 75 by 40 is recommended for the sole planting, where you don't have to go for the intercropping. And now for the drip irrigation, it is 100 is to 50, means two paired rows of 50 centimeter apart. They are placed at 100 centimeter spacing. Again, this accommodate some 33,000 plants. And here you can apply, you can save the moisture. You can go for minor mechanization, as well as go for the drip irrigation. As well as in this, the weed issues, they have been observed a little less. Now, many times we think of doing everything mechanical by tractor. In that case, you can put 3 rows at 50 centimeter spacing, paired rows, and all these set to placed at 2 meter spacing apart. Now, many people they plant at 15 to 50, then it comes to 40,000 plants per hectare. So this is important, depends upon your purpose, objective, your resources. So these are the exhaustive list of the varieties, prominent bean hybrid varieties released in the country. NB21 released in 1968 to BNS 26 released in 2023, and in recently in 2025 few more varieties has been released of the bean hybrid, which I could not add in this list. And I have incorporated especially Super Napier. This is a plant type, the Napier type, which is being sold and grown in country at many places. This has come from some non-authentic source. Many people they sell it as in the name of the bullet grass, super Napier, Australian Napier, American Napier. Sometimes they say Brazilian Napier. This I evaluated it at Hyderabad in a trial with the APBN1 and CO5, and yield was nearly at par with the APBN1 and the CO5. It was only 5 to 8% superiority, but in this case, the oxalate content was higher and the CP content was lower, and crop, the fodder quality was little less. However, for a biofuel, super Napier may be a option. So this here also we have grown the all varieties of the bean hybrid available here. As nearly 16 varieties we are growing in the line one after another, but you may not be able to see. Second is the Fule Gunwant. If see here flowering is very late, but fodder quality is very good. Some of the very good fodder quality is BNH 10, BNH 26, Fule Gunwant, PBN 342. These are very good for the forage quality. So these are some of the leaves I have collected for the BN hybrid, this fodder sugarcane, Bajra IGFRI 6, BNS 26. If you see the leaf quality, if you see the leaf quality of Fulojavan, it's very good quality, very long leaf and thick leaf and the wide leaves. So these are the characters also through which we identify the which variety is this, and this character indicate the leaf stem ratio. It indicates the fodder quality. So leaf affects the fodder quality as well as the methane or the biogas, bio-CNG producing capacity of the plant. So this is important criteria. These are the leaf attachment where from we understand, we identify the varieties. These are different in, we are all 16 variety we have made, compared all these parameters and made the inventory of these parameters. So these are the inflorescence, but as I told earlier, they doesn't bear the fertile seeds. Now, as I told, this is very high biomass producing crop, one of the highest biomass producing crop in the year in the world. So it also extract lot amount of the nutrients from the soil. For example, now if it is producing around 3,500 or some 30 uh, 3,000 quintal of the green fodder, which is common. Then around 7,700 quintal of the dry matter will be harvested by the crop, and this 700 quintal of dry matter. This is the content of the nutrient in the plant. So it will extract 1,010 quintals, 1,000 kilograms of the nitrogen, pure nitrogen, not the urea, 280 kilograms of the phosphorus, 490 kilograms of the potash, and 560 kilograms of the magnesium, and sulfur, 119 kilograms of sulfur. So just you imagine the amount of the nutrients being exhausted by the crop, and that's why you have to meet the requirement of the crop. Otherwise, in subsequent years, in second and third year, the quality will be, this yield will reduce drastically. So initially, you have to apply just evaluate your soil quality, and some 20-25 ton should be applied every time in the month of May to June or July in the field to give the complete nutrients. And this basal dose of 60 kilogram nitrogen, 50 phosphorus, P25, and at subsequent cut you have to apply 20 kilogram nitrogen and 10 kilogram of the 20 kg after 20 in just after cut, and 10 kilogram some 15 days before the cut. Alternately, a crop may fertilize 40 kilogram nitrogen just after the cut. In fact, to just you imagine, these are the some of the nutrients which I mentioned. If you see the list of all 17 nutrients essential for the plant, this is very high amount of exhaustive. So this crop needs some kind of the nutrient additives like Napier Gold or other Napier Gold or some other available in the market, so that the micronutrient requirement as well as the carbon requirement of the crop is met. This crop contains 42 to 48% of the carbon. So if you are extracting, harvesting 70,000 kilogram of the dry matter, just imagine how much amount of carbon you are harvesting from the field. So this is very good carbon sequestration crop. Weed control, as I told, is a big issue in the bean hybrid. So oxysulfan 23.5 EC at 200 gram per hectare pre-emergence, and spray of metsulfuron methyl 20% vital fluid 4 gram per hectare as post-emergence and 25 days after planting. Once you are controlling, actually this weed issue is very common up to 60 days. Once the 60 days crop is it reaches to 60 days, then it suppresses the weed. However, you have to go for the regular at regular intervals, at least in quarterly, you have to do the intra-row intercultivation, either through the DCL or through the tractor or some mechanized ways, to keep the control the weeds, to keep the crop aerated, as well as this process will also uh, put the earthing up of the crop. And irrigation, this crop should be planted in well moist condition. If you ask, normally monsoon season you rarely require the irrigation, but if you ask the scientifically, regularly 75% of the available soil moisture level has to be maintained for the robust growth and yield. Alternately, 0.08 WCP ratio is to maintained. If you, in absence, this is very easy to find out. If somebody they require, they can note it down and contact me. I have given my email address, or I'll also share my mobile number 94151 Harvesting depends basically on the purpose and season of the production. And for fodder, you have to take first cut at 60-65 days after planting, and subsequent cuts are taken in 25 to 30 days for fodder. Now, if you are growing in the coastal areas where warm and humid conditions are there, you can harvest the crop at 20 days interval. But during winter season, harvesting interval goes up to extends up to 60 days. So, and secondly, if you're growing this for the bio-CNG, then this harvesting interval has to made up to 80 days to maintain the dry matter content in the plant, as well as the your methane production also. So now this is a very common problem. Many people, when they are growing after first, either a first or second year, after regular cut, your tussock becomes like this. So it has more number of the dead tillers than the live tillers. Your tussock size will be very large, but the actually the fertile, the productive tillers will be very less. So the yield is drastically reduced, which I say 3,000 quintal, it will come to 1,000 quintals green fodder. So this needs special technological interventions to mitigate these conditions, special harvesting technologies to mitigate these conditions, and so that you get the regular yield year after year, and your this productive life extend up to 5 years. So this requires very well managed agronomical as well as the renovation technologies which are available at IGFRI. So see, you are seeing this crop. This is last dasak, but the productive turnover was very less. So after some time, crop looks like this. Now it can also be grown under alternate land use system, where for animals where you don't have land, no need to have land age. You can grow on the bunds. And even though if see this harvesting of wheat was over, but the crop was lush green, you need not to give any extra input. So with this, my presentation is over.
Okay.
Now, if any question, you can please ask me.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Rajiv, for the presentation. Now I will take up some questions.
Definitely.
Okay.
Should I
So,
stop sharing so that I can?
yes, you can stop sharing the screen.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yeah. Okay. So,
So,
what are
who is
the
the host? Can I see the host? Who is the host here?
I am not switching on my video. That's the reason you're not able to see. I did not on my video, I meant to say.
Okay, okay. Now,
Okay. Yeah.
that's the question.
So, what are the ideal soil conditions and preparation methods for achieving maximum yield Bajra Napier hybrid? Maximum yield in Bajra Napier hybrid.
Actually, ma'am, you are asking about the soil conditions. First thing comes the soil. As I told, this is a very exhaustive crop and very fast, quick regenerating, fast growing crop, giving you very heavy amount of the biomass. So, if you are aiming to harvest bumper yield of some 300 tons per hectare per year, you require fertile soil with at least 0.6% organic matter. Okay. Now, soil usually the well-drained loamy soil is best, but if soil is not that, then you can supplement the uh, with the nutrients. Now, secondly, for preparation, once you are putting the bean hybrid planting into the field, it will continue for 3 to 4 years. So first thing you have to do the preparation for the two purposes. First, to control to eradicate the wheat seed bank of this land. Secondly, to provide the good tilth for the quick germination establishment and for longer duration, for longer nutrient supply and aeration. So you require, I told you, the first thing you have to do the plowing with the soil turning plow, then 2 to 3 plowing with to give the fine tilth. Okay. Anything else you ask, madam? If I'm missing?
Oh, that's it. Okay. So, next question is, one sec. Yeah. Which planting method, that is slips, cuttings, or root stumps, ensures the best establishment in different agroclimatic zones?
Sorry, please.
You want me to repeat the question?
Yes.
Which planting method ensures best establishment in different agroclimatic zones?
Now, ma'am, actually, I had done because I'm working in the capacity of the PI agronomy, and our centers have spread across 35 locations in the country. Almost any state you name, we have the center, and I'm looking after the research work of that center. And we conducted the trial. So, in trial, we found that if you are propagating through the root slips or two budded stem cutting, that is the best that ensures up to 90 to 95% germination as well as establishment. But single cut planting do ensure some 70 to 75% establishment depending on your efforts and your soil preparation and the nutrition irrigation package you have given to the crop. Single bud plantation or the single bud stem cutting, this also. And now, so answer is clear. Now you come to the synthetic seed as well as this production from the seed. Because the seed producing BN hybrid has been developed by IGFRI. Still, it has we are in the process of patenting and licensing it. So still it is not gone to the field, but the germination is around 80% in our seeds, 80 to 90%. So once you are growing it, you have to go for the nursery raising. Then from nursery, you have to go for the transplanting of this. So it also ensures very good germination. Okay. In short,
Okay.
I again summarize that planting either through the rooted slips or two-budded stem cutting is the ideal.
Okay. And next question is, what is the optimal plant spacing and fertilizer schedule for year-round high biomass production?
Yes, ma'am. Now, there are two things. First, I will take the what is the best planting geometry. Okay, right? Now,
Yeah.
the planting geometry I told is depend on the purpose. First thing, resources. Second thing, and the soil fertility. Third thing. Now, I come for the resources. Now, if it is a well-fed, irrigated, high fertile soil, you can go either for 50-50 or 75-40. But once you are going for the mechanized harvesting, because here harvesting is a big issue, and many people they have planted on large scale. I feel people. I'm giving consultancy to the people in Delhi and in Odisha and in the Uttarakhand also and in Lucknow. That harvesting is becoming a big issue. So, because when you are harvesting at a 60-day interval, the crop stem is a little bit thick and strong. So the normal harvester, which are used for maize or sorghum harvesting, they are not suitable. Uh, so if you are going thinking, because many harvesters are there, if you are harvesting at a little bit early stage, so if you are harvesting the mechanical, going for mechanical harvesting, you have to adjust your planting geometry, density for the as per your this. But to sum up, the ideal plant population per hectare to maintain around 30,000 to 35,000 per hectare. Okay. Now it depends upon you can alter the planting geometry, but population has to maintain at 30 to 35,000 for the best production. Now you are asking for the fertilizing schedule, right?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, this is very exhaustive crop, and it is very exhaustive crop, and as I told mentioned this. Exhaust around 10 quintals, 1000 kg of nitrogen, to 400 kg of the potash, and some 200 kg, 200 plus kgs of the phosphorus. So accordingly, it also requires that much of the fertilization. If you are not going for give this much supplementation for the major macro and as well as micronutrient as well as the organic matter too, then your protein will not be maintained. So initially you have to apply this 60-40, 60 kg nitrogen NPK, and after each cut you have to apply for the uh, 40 kilogram of the nitrogen. But at the same time, you can also go for some additives like Napier Gold or some other material they're available. They do supply all micronutrient and the organic matter to the soil, so that the microflora, and microorganism activity they are maintained, and the root growth also maintained in soil. Okay. Is it clear, madam?
Yeah. It is clear. Yeah. Next question is, how can farmers maintain crops productivity after multiple cutting across the year?
Now, as has shown you, this usually in the first year and second year. Basically, in the first year you get a bumper yield. In second year and after second year, yields they are reducing because the harvesting, the dead tillers are more in the tussock than the live tillers. Now I tell you, tussock is actually the clump of the grass. You are putting only single bud, but after some time it becomes the clump. Now you have harvested once, then whatever is remaining, well, because you are harvesting, the actually is the harvesting height. Usually you should harvest at a height of some around 6 to 8 inches. But what happens that many times the harvesting height increases slowly and slowly. So the dead tillers number they increase. So we have to regularly remove the dead tillers. Once you are removing the dead tillers, it gives the space for the product tillers and the live tillers. Then harvesting the biomass yield is maintained. If you are not able to maintain the number of live tillers, the balance between the live and dead tillers, then it productivity definitely will reduce. So there are agronomical and other methods like controlled burning and shaving, and there are many other technologies and chemicals like additives which can maintain the productivity.
Okay. Um, what what are the irrigation requirements of Bajra Napier hybrid under rain-fed versus irrigated conditions?
Madam, when we say rain-fed means there's no irrigation. So you cannot compare the rain-fed with the irrigated, right? Because you are saying rain-fed means what? No irrigation facility available. You can ask one thing, that where is limited irrigation facility and ample irrigation facility available. Can you tell me, should I go for rain-fed or limited irrigation? Hello? Hello? In fact, that when we are talking of the irrigation, uh,
This
yeah,
question is,
yeah.
can
Sorry, you want to,
fertigation
sorry,
can
yeah. Should I continue or
no, I'm taking up the next question.
you can take the question for irrigation? This is very important. So
Yeah.
just I give you the question, I give you the answer. When you're going for the irrigation, you have to, basically I told you the 75% of the oil soil moisture level has to be maintained. Now what is that? That is actually what depend on your, because that cannot be generalized across the soil. So in different soil, the wilting point is different, soil water holding capacity is different, as well as the maximum water holding capacity is different. So depending upon that, you have to maintain some 75% of soil moisture. And as per the maintenance of soil moisture, your frequency of irrigation as well delta of irrigation will definitely vary. But if you don't have those parameters or don't have that much facility, then as a thumb rule, in winters, in North Indian conditions, you can irrigate at a 12 to 14 days interval. And in harsh summer conditions of North India and the Deccan Plateau, 7 to 8 days irrigation interval is better. And in monsoon season, you rarely require the irrigation when this failure of monsoon or long dry spells they are. So this is the irrigation requirement about the irrigation requirement of the Bajra Napier hybrid crop. Okay, next please.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is, can fertigation improve fodder quality and yield, especially for small farmers and drip systems?
Yes, ma'am. See, fertigation and the uh, your traditional, that is flood irrigation versus your broadcasting. So now we come, see, if you are have ample amount of the water, definitely fertigation saves the water as well as the amount of nutrient. And secondly, through fertigation, you are able to supply the nutrient in the quantity and in the exact stage when crop requires it maximum, that you can meet definitely. Similarly, so you can save your you save your resources, nutrient as well as the irrigation water. But if you are amply supplying with the nutrient and the irrigation water, then yield in both the cases are nearly equal. Only the benefit in the fertigation, when you can just give one or two lateral between the paired rows, because when you are going for fertigation you have to go for the paired rows, so that you can put a lateral between the two rows of the crop, so that that way you can save, yeah, definitely you can save some 60 to 70% of the irrigation water. But nutrient, fertile nutrient is requirement doesn't is not affected.
Okay. Mm. And what are the micronutrient deficiency commonly seen in Bajra Napier hybrid and how to correct them?
Actually, madam, this is exhaustive crop and micronutrient. If you are not going to apply this annually or biannually, the uh, FIM, Micronutrient has to be applied. Both the things. Organic carbon level has to be maintained, and micronutrient and this your this micronutrient level has to be maintained. It has to be regularly supplied, because if you see the list, it's exhaustive crop. So most commonly, the if you go for the in Kerala, magnesium deficiencies there, but in large scale, all the micronutrient deficiency will be evident after 3 years if you are not going to apply. So for that, you have to apply some uh, additives. Some uh, some products are available in the market which you can apply to maintain the supply of micronutrient.
Okay. And how does the nutritional profile of bajra compare with conventional fodder crops like maize, sorghum, or cowpea?
Yes, madam. You compare with the maize sorghum, okay, bean hybrid, because these all are cereal crops. Cowpea is the leguminous crop. So in cowpea, the productivity may be a little less, but it is rich in the uh, crude protein as well as other nutrient. Maize and sorghum, they are comparable with the bean hybrid. If you are harvesting bean hybrid at some 35 to 40 days interval, then its quality is comparable with the maize or the sorghum. It also contains 10 to 11% crude protein, which is available in the sorghum and the maize. Fiber content is little bit, some 5 to 6% more NDF ADF content, but palatability is also five around. It is in the range of the what you say range of the sorghum and the maize. So this no quality means it is comparable with the maize and sorghum if you are harvesting at the appropriate stage.
Okay. Mm. What is the ideal harvesting stage to balance yield and nutritive value for dairy cows and buffaloes?
Yes. Actually, the ideal harvesting stage is between 25 to 45 days, depending upon the climatic conditions. Because, as I told, the yield and the quality varies, uh, is too much variable depending on the weather elements. Where the winters are more, then growth is slow, then harvesting has to be delayed. So the uh, this in that case, the harvesting to be done at 45 days interval. But in case of coastal areas or the monsoon season, growth is very fast, then you should go for harvesting at 25 day interval, so that your biomass yield as well as quality, they are at the equilibrium and optimum. But in case of winters or where a harsh climate is there, you can harvest up to 45-day interval to maintain the yield and quality both.
Okay. And how can silage be made effectively from bajra for long-time storage?
In fact, the see the basic component which is responsible for silage making, either from the maize, oat, sorghum, or bean hybrid, is the uh, TSS, total sugar. This sugar content should be around 7%, so that lactic acid and other organic acids, they are produced in ample quantity, and the pH of the silage comes around 4, so that it can be stored. Once silage is made at around 4.1 pH, it can be stored for a longer period of 5 to 6 years if you are not opening the packing. Okay. Now, in BN hybrid, normally the sugar content is around 5.5 to 6%. You can still made, if you want to make very good quality silage, you have to add little bit additives, either tapioca or the jaggery or the molasses. And alternatively, you can also have make 25%, take 25% of the bean hybrid fodder and some 75% of the bean hybrid fodder and 25% of the maize, and you can make a very good quality silage. Procedure
Okay.
for making silage either from the maize, sorghum, oat, or the bean hybrid, both are same. You have to chop it in small pieces and uh, make it anaerobic, compress it to make it anaerobic, and then keep it for somewhere around for 40 to 45 days to till it turns into the golden brown color and pH comes to the 4.
Okay. And next question is, just 1 second. Yeah. Okay. What are the major pests and disease affecting Bajra, and what integrated management practices are recommended?
In fact, madam, when you are going for the production of Bajra Napier hybrid, no major insect pest till now has been observed. But in some cases, some exotic varieties, uh, some leaf spots has been observed. Uh, but if you're harvesting at regular interval at 45 to 35 to 45 days, usually no insect pest is there. If you're in white ants, the termite is there in your soil, then they may affect the rooting system. Then you can have some broad spectrum insecticide to control those. But in the crop as such, we are not observed any major insect pest which can affect the yield as well as quality. Like in other crops, you have many insect pests. Here, there is no common insect pest or major insect pest.
Okay. How can farmers ensure disease-free planting material to avoid early crop loss?
In fact, when you receive the planting material, you must treat the planting material. You must treat the planting material with the two this your 2% of the solution of the either bevacizine, carbendazim, or any bothersome fungicide. You make the solution and 2% fungicide and dip the planting material in that for 15 minutes. Then remove it and go for dry it and go for planting. Secondly, you can there are some other like roxylin and some other chemicals also there to growth promoter. They can increase the rooting in the Bajra Napier hybrid. So you can treat with that some 10 to 20 ppm of the GA3 or oxygen you can treat with and for the better rooting and the establishment.
Okay. What is the expected cost of cultivation and net returns for 1 acre of Bajra?
Bajra Napier hybrid.
Yes, yes, yes.
Madam, now this again have the three dimensions. You are growing Bajra Napier hybrid for the fodder, then your output cost is different. You are growing Bajra Napier hybrid for the root slips and stem cutting, this propagating material, then your output cost is different and your benefit cost is also different. If you are growing BN hybrid for the bio-CNG, then your cost is different. Now you come for the specific, mostly you are probably you are asking for the fodder crop. So in this, if you are, and I'm talking of about the fodder crop. In that, if you're growing in the North India or growing in the South India, two different conditions. Okay, in North India, the normally if you're going in an acre around there, if you're growing very good cultivation, then your net profit will be rupees 80,000, some 60,000 to 1.2 lakh per acre, and in South India it may be little bit 10 to 20% higher figure maybe there. Okay.
Okay. Last two more questions. Is there a growing market for fodder sales to dairy farms, goshalas, and feed manufacturers?
Madam, it is a very vast and fastest growing market. If you see in the country, Bajra Napier hybrid is the fastest spreading crop, fastest area crop, which is covering more and more area. Exponential area is going under the bean hybrid because of its multiple uses. So the scope for growing for the planting material is huge, is most profitable and large scope is there. And for bio CNG, many bio CNG plant are there coming up, and almost all part of the country. And they are also looking for the planting material. They are looking for the planting personnel. They are looking for this production personnel. They are looking for the technologists who can handle their farms. So it's a lot of scope in the production of bean hybrid. Either for the and for the pellets also. For pellets which are being used for boilers, so they are also two scope is there. Many private companies, big companies, not small. They are big companies with a huge turnover. They're coming this field like Reliance, Adani, and many carbon circle and many other energy companies. They are entering in this field for large scale planting, production, and its use for bio CNG and the pelleting.
Okay. And
it has very good scope for this silage also. Many companies, they are making silage from the bean hybrid.
okay. And are there any government schemes, subsidies, or ICAR projects supporting fodder crop development?
Sorry, again?
Are there any government schemes, subsidies, or ICAR projects supporting fodder crop development?
Yeah, both. This government subsidy earlier, now for some time they have stopped this Department of Fisheries and Investment and Dairying Government of India under their National Livestock Mission. They were supporting the production, large scale production in siling this and for fodder and this for planting material. They're supporting up to 2 crores. Subsidy was around 1 crore out of that. So they were supporting project, ICAR are supporting on for the research project, and this other state agencies also they are supporting for the research, as well as the government of UP and other government, they are supporting for the taking up the large scale plantation of the for they are supporting for starting the any startup on the forage as well as the Bajra Napier hybrid. So there are large schemes to support it.
Okay. And yeah. What are the main mistakes farmers make while cultivating Bajra Napier hybrid, and how can they be avoided?
Yes, see, the main mistakes, it starts from the planting. Usually, the planting, once you are planting it, you have to plant in the soil and tightly compress it. And while planting, the moisture level has to maintain properly, first thing. Second thing, the harvesting, usually because of its hardness, they are harvesting at leaving a large stubble. The more you leave the stubble, you are losing your biomass yield, as well as the the issues for the next harvesting, and you are also this escalating the issues for the dead tillers, so that your productivity will very soon it will come down because of the bigger clump but the lesser live tillers. So these are major mistakes there. Secondly and lastly, this renovation. Renovation is very specialized technology for this. This has to maintain and the use of the micro and micronutrients and the maintain of soil fertility for the growing period has to be taken care. So these are the common mistakes they make.
Okay. And can small farmers with limited land grow? Sorry, I'll repeat the question. Can small farmers with limited land grow Bajra Napier hybrid profitably in combination with dairy units?
Yes, yes. See, but actually, when small, it is a mandatory for a dairy unit. They have to have a perennial fodder crop because in seasonal crops you have a large gap. Once you have done this sowing, you have to wait for till 60 days. But you should have a combination of the perennial and annual. When the annual crops are not there, seasonal crops are not there, you can have the fodder from the perennial crop. When fodder perennial annual crop is there, this good quality fodder, so you can mix with the perennial crop and chop it so that the quality of the perennial crop also increases. And you can go either for the planting of the Bajra Napier hybrid on the burns, your field boundary, or you can make the LAs some 2-3 meters. You can put 2 to 3 rows at 2 to 3 meters spacing, 3 rows, 3 meter spacing, 3 rows like this, and in between the alleys, you can grow the forage crops or your grain crops or your cash crops, so that you can put some 30 to 40% area under the forage crops and remaining 60 to 70% area under the other grain or commercial crops.
Okay. This one,
So there are large
check it.
options available in this technology. But that has to be very specialized. Somebody, when they have question, they can call or they can visit IGFRA website. So we have the answers on all those questions.
Okay. So last question now. What are the climate smart practices recommended for maintaining fodder productivity under erratic rainfall?
Right. See, erratic rainfall means either you have the intense rainfall at one time, or you have a long dry spell. Okay. Or so in both the conditions, climate smart practices, you should have either small water harvesting pond in the end, or you should have the well drained. In my first question, you should have the well drained soil. You should have the drainage facility in the field so that your crop this doesn't inundate. This crop, though if it is growing, it is some 3 to 4 months old, then it can bear waterlogging up to 15 days. Secondly, so this is already a climate this climate resilient crop, which can if you compare with other crop, it can bear the longer dry spell, it can bear the longer water logging, it can bear the adverse climatic conditions for a longer period than any other crop, uh, right? Secondly, you can maintain the water harvesting pond in the end one way, or you can maintain in situ moisture conservation you can do to overcome the moisture stress or the heat stress during the uh, adverse climatic conditions, odd periods.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Rajiv Agarwal, I don't see any more questions. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we'd like to thank you for the detailed presentation and answering all the questions in detail. So we'll be ending this meeting now.
Okay, now so we'll put on the this YouTube. Where it will be you are
Yeah.
going to use it? Tell me. Who are your customers, clients?
I'll explain you. I'll call you and explain you all the details.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be ending this meeting. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Okay.